women's 1500, which takes place on Saturday. So there's only one running event final for the women on Friday, and it's the women's 100. So let's go women's 1500. Women's 1500. This is an event where having the standard obviously is a big deal. There's a lot more people who have the standard in on the women's side than on the men's side. I'll start first. Favorite, it's tough because you got Sinclaire Johnson, who just ran really well at pre, beat Eleanor Pereira St. Pierre, and ran for fourth place and ran 3:58. But I'm still going with St. Pierre. She's only run once outdoors, so I'm willing to look at the pre race as a rust buster, and it still wasn't even that bad. She got sixth, Gordon. So St. Pierre is my favorite.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's her one race, and her one race was a 3:59. Even it's like, okay, that's your baseline. Your baseline is pretty damn good. Like I feel like Sinclair Johnson is going more closer to her ceiling, uh, which is a great ceiling. Don't get me wrong, but I agree. I'm with Saint Pierre as my favorite as well. She won the trials last year. She's going to be the favorite until she's dethroned in a race that matters, which would be
Mhm.
these trials.
All right, sleeper.
Ooh, this
Sleeper.
is fun. Sleepers in a 1500 are great.
So I went with someone who actually doesn't have the standard. But if we're just saying this person finishes top three, like a sleeper to finish top three, I think it still counts because we're not talking about, well, are they going to make the world championship team? Like we're talking about finishing top three. I went with Danielle Aragon, Gordon.
Ooh, okay.
Danielle Aragon. Second at Music City, where she finished ahead of Josette Norris. And then she was eighth at the trials last year. So she's got a bunch of experience. I think she could sneak into that top three because you feel good about St. Pierre, you feel good about Sinclair Johnson, and then there's question marks on everybody else. And even those top two, this isn't the Simpson Houlihan or like the Roberry Simpson era where you just 100% pencil those two in. There's no doubt. There's no way anybody else supplants those two and everybody's running for one spot. That's not what this year is. This year, there's a lot more doubt throughout the entry list, and especially so when you get past those first two. So Aragon was my sleeper.
I like that. I was looking towards like sleepers in the 404 range. Like Michaela Meyer or um who was the other one that was like Taryn Rawlings was like a random sleeper I was thinking. But I'm going more wild. Go with someone who has been just having a good year all around, and I'll go with Colorado's De Janeiro.
Mm,
Michaela De Janeiro of Colorado. She's only run 409, but she's the indoor mile champ. She almost won outdoors to Vissa at Ole Miss, but like put together a good fight there. If we get
yeah,
a weird, crazy kickers race, why not the young kid out of Colorado? So I'm going Michaela De Janeiro as my sleeper. I don't think she's going to be top three, but that's the vibe I was getting when I had to go with picking a sleeper.
and no standard for her.
Exactly. No
Correct.
standard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
My pick, women's 1500. I St. Pierre Johnson, and then I'm actually going with a person we haven't even mentioned yet, Josette Norris. Now, her indoor season was great. Her outdoor season hasn't been. She was 13th at pre. She was third at Music City, so she was behind Aragon in that race. Hasn't broken four, but I go back just a couple months. Made the world indoor team, Gordon, and got fifth indoors, and that was a good women's 1500. Like Ethiopia came to play this year in the women's 1500. So I'm thinking that those early season races from Norris were more of a rust buster, and we're going to see the 2021 Norris again. And she didn't make the team for the Olympics, but that didn't go away. Like who she was last year and who she was at the beginning part of this year didn't go away. So I'm confident she's going to find it, and she was just getting herself set and ready with a little bit more championship experience for these championships, and that pre-race is just going to be an afterthought. So I got Norris getting that third spot.
Like the Norris pick. I agree with you at the top with I'm going with Pierre, St. Pierre, then Johnson. Then my third, I'm going back to someone who I could maybe call the Tiana Daniels of the 1500. I'm going with Corey McGee.
Mm,
Corey McGee made her first team in 2013.
yeah.
A long ass time ago, 9 years ago. And she's running well.
Yeah.
She's running in the 4 flat range.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she's going to find a way to make another team here, and I have her penciled in for third. Corey McGee turning what looked like just she had like a couple years in between where she kind of probably dealing with injuries, and I think wasn't even making like a final, was kind of messing with the 800 a bit. But now she's back into full form. Doesn't look like she's missed a beat from last year. And I think she's going to finish top 3. I think she'll get third in the women's 1500. So, yeah, I'm going with St. Pierre, Sinclaire Johnson, and Corey McGee for my top 3.